Hey team, today we are looking at how to combine a dependent clause with an independent clause to create a complete sentence. Like everything in English, there are grammatical rules that apply to this tricky maneuver. Fortunately, these rules are easy to learn. Sometimes when you combine dependent and independent clauses in a sentence, you need to use a comma. There's rules to make this easy, and the use of commas depends on the order of the clauses. When the independent clause comes before the dependent clause, a comma is usually not needed. I took my car to the garage because it needed a service. That's a good sentence. It makes sense and it stands alone. If you look, you'll notice that I have combined an independent clause, I took my car to the garage, with a dependent clause because it needed a service. The independent clause is first. Rule number 1 says that when the independent clause goes first, we do not need to use a comma. Sentence complete. Rule number 2. If the dependent clause goes first, put a comma at the end of it, before the independent clause. As the garage was full, the mechanic asked me to come back tomorrow. If you look at this sentence, you'll see that the dependent clause is first. As the garage was full is not a complete sentence. It is a dependent clause. The mechanic asked me to come back tomorrow. This is an independent clause. Because we have put the dependent clause first, we have to separate them with a comma. This shows that the subject of this sentence is the mechanic. Rule number 3. Sometimes rules change. Let's not worry about the exceptions today. That's a problem for another time. Let's recap what we've learned today. When the independent clause comes before the dependent clause, a comma is usually not needed. Rule number 2. If the dependent clause goes first, put a comma at the end of it, before the independent clause.